Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers virtual college fair. And thank you so much for being here. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A feature on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are both off, so our panelists cannot see nor hear you. It's just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for more. And then lastly, this presentation will be recorded and will be available in about a week at stripescan.com/Carolinas. Thank you, and I'd love to turn it over to our first presenter from Carolina's College of Health and Science. Robert, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for spending a little bit of time with us today. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I'll go ahead and get started. My name is Robert. I am the coordinator for admissions and recruitment here at Carolina's College of Health Sciences. You may hear my dog. She is in the backyard right now trying to get back inside the house, so I forgive you if you hear paws slapping at the glass sliding door. But for those of you that are maybe not as familiar with Carolina's College, we are located here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have a long history and roots here in the Charlotte area. We began in the 1940s as a nursing school and have really grown and evolved as we've seen the needs in healthcare grow and evolve. And especially right now, as we make our way out of this past year and this pandemic, we have seen a huge increase of interest for students going into health science and allied health science programs. So that has been really great for us and a great way to connect to our students and within our community. A little bit about our college. We are a college of 640 students total. So we are a small school. We look a little bit different than your typical universities. We have 13 different programs that we offer, 15 actually now. We just launched 2 new bachelor's programs, which I'll highlight again in just a couple moments. We have a 6-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And if you are at all familiar with the Charlotte area or North Carolina, South Carolina, or Georgia, that Atrium symbol may be familiar to you, but we are partners of the Atrium healthcare system, and that gives us a ton of great benefits. One of those being our shared mission values, our mission, vision, and core values. Our mission is to educate, engage, and empower professionals for their evolving healthcare career. And we want to be the first and best choice in healthcare education. And we do all of those by maintaining our 4 core values of caring, commitment, integrity, and teamwork. Now, Atrium, being a partner with Atrium gives us lots of other great benefits, some of those being priority clinical placement. So out of all the schools and institutions using Atrium facilities as their clinical sites, we get first dibs, which is a huge bonus for our students as far as whether they're having to drive to their clinical sites, but also getting access to state-of-the-art facilities, as well as job potential. So we don't guarantee job placement, but we have a 90% job placement rate within our programs for students going into Atrium Healthcare. And then that is a great opportunity for the Atrium Healthcare Loan Forgiveness Program as well, which awards students money that they can apply towards their program of interest, and then work for Atrium for a forgiveness option. As for our programs, I want to get you some information about our different programs. You can think of them all in buckets. So we offer certifications, associate's degrees, and bachelor's degrees. You can see a full list there. We offer Nurse Aid 1, phlebotomy, neurodiagnostic technology. We also offer neurodiagnostic technology at the associate's degree level, as well as radiologic technology, nursing, and general studies. And then we also offer an online RN to BSN program. And then our 2 new programs are going to be a Bachelor's of Science in Healthcare Simulation and a Bachelor's of Science in Medical Imaging. Looking ahead, don't want to get too far ahead, but do want to keep this on your radar for some post-baccalaureate programs that we offer as well in histotechnology, MLS, rad tech, mammography, radiation therapy, just to name some of those. Admissions requirements. So at Carolina's College, when you apply, you're going to apply directly to your program of interest. And each program may differ a little bit in their admissions and application requirements, but in general, this is a great average for you. Our average GPA to apply and be admitted into our programs is a minimum 2.5 GPA. Our minimum SAT is a 900 with reading and math. We don't require the writing. And then we also require, or you could take the ACT. That minimum requirement is a 19 composite score. And then also for the TEAS test, I want to go back. For the TEAS test there, we're looking for the 50th percentile on the national mean. If you're not familiar with the TEAS test, that's your test of essential academic skill. It is required for most of your allied health programs. It's similar to an SAT or an ACT. We do require it in conjunction with either the SAT or ACT. Not all programs require this, so make sure you check out our website for your specific program requirements. As far as completing the application and having your application ready for review, all the things we'll need is a completed application and a fee. Also submitted additional requirements such as official high school transcripts, as well as your SAT scores and your TEAS test score. Once we receive all of those items, it's usually 4 to 6 weeks from when your application is complete that we can return an admissions decision back to you. Now, this is just a couple information on your screen there to stay connected with us. If you have questions, obviously our website has a lot of great answers for you at carolinascollege.edu. You can also reach out to us at our email address, admissions@cchsmail.com. But of course, the best way to stay up to date is through our social media. So if you're not already following us, go ahead and give us a follow. It's a great way to get updates and exciting new information about our programs and about the college. But with that, I want to say thank you all for your time, and I'll go ahead and turn it back over.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert. Next up, we have Gaston College.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Megan Lingerfeld, and I am excited to be here with you this evening to represent Gaston College. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that way we can see this presentation. All right, so we have some great information for you tonight from Gaston College. For those who are unfamiliar, we are located right at, well, our main campus is actually located in Dallas, North Carolina. And then we also do have a couple of other campuses that are also in the Gaston and Lincoln County areas. So we do service mainly Gaston County and Lincoln County with our main campus here in Dallas, as well as the Belmont campus, and also that's the Kimbrough campus that's in Belmont. And then we have the Lincoln campus that's in Lincolnton. We are actually the 10th largest community college that is in North Carolina, which is actually really cool. And we have a 19-to-1 student faculty ratio, which just means that we help to keep those classrooms small for you. And then we also do have a $76 per credit hour tuition rate for those in-state students who are listed as a North Carolina resident. And that's just another way for us to be able to help keep costs down for our students. And we do offer over 100 programs of study. And I'm going to give you just a few bullet points of those programs in just a second, so you can kind of see what programs I'm mentioning here. But you do see on the screen there the most popular programs, which are college transfer, criminal justice, business administration, the associate degree nursing or RN program is one of our top, as well as early childhood education and medical office administration. One of the cool things that we do want to let you know about as far as new news at Gaston College, we are onboarding our athletic teams that will be beginning soon with us. And that's going to include a men's basketball team, a men's baseball team, a women's softball team, and a women's volleyball team. So we are super excited about that. There's a lot of really fun, cool changes that are coming to Gaston College. It's going to make us look a little bit different moving forward, but again, in really fun ways. So please stay tuned. Please get connected with us. And I'm going to show the contact information at the end, but find us on Facebook, Instagram, search our social media so that way you can stay up to date on all the cool information coming in about Gaston College and the new changes we have. So as far as degree types, we have a few different options. The Associate of Art, Associate of Science is actually where you see our college transfer programs that allow students to be able to collect credit hours within general education courses like math, sciences, histories, and whatnot, and then be able to get an associate degree in that 2-year study to transfer that to the 4-year university. And it does help for many reasons. It helps for students to adjust to the college lifestyle in an environment that's a little bit closer to home, because college is different than high school. And we also have the ability to help students financially with that option as well, so that way they can save a little bit more upfront, so that way they will have additional funds towards continuing their education at the 4-year school when they do transfer. There's also some other options. Associate of Applied Science is still a 2-year degree in a very concentrated area of study, one of the programs you would choose. And within that 2-year degree, you're going to get all the education and training that you'll need to be able to go back out in the workforce and work with that. Additionally, the diploma and the certificate are very similar options. They just don't take quite as long. Diplomas are usually about 3 semesters, so maybe about a year's length. And certificates are usually 1 to 2 semesters, so not even quite a full year. But they do specialize in very specific areas of study, whatever the student might have chosen to study. And then it does give you additional training and education. So just to let you know what some of those program of study options are, the arts and sciences are where the college transfer programs live. The public safety department is where you'll see like basic law enforcement training, the paramedic program, fire protection, and then you'll have business and information technology. We have criminal justice, broadcasting and production technology, several different types of IT related programs. And then we do move on to some of our other larger departments, which are engineering and industrial technologies, a lot of trade programs, a lot of engineering programs. We do in our area here have lots of job opportunities in those career fields. So we have a lot of programs that will feed into that career field. And then health and human services is where you'll find cosmetology, aesthetics, and as well as the nursing programs. We have an LPN, we have an RN, and we do have an LPN to RN bridge program, as well as a CNA course that is for our continuing education. We also are one of the few schools that do offer veterinary medical technology, which is a very popular program. And we have a lot of students who are interested in joining us, especially outside of our typical region of students. For that vet tech program. Just to kind of give you an idea, these are the admission steps for us. And you're welcome to take a screenshot if that's easier for you, or you can always reach out to us for additional assistance with this information. But you would be applying to the college first, and then from there, you would, if there's any additional applications needed, like for the nursing program, you would be applying into those programs secondarily. But we can actually help you with that in the admissions office as well. And again, for admissions information, please contact us, reach out to us at admissions@gaston.edu, or feel free to use my information. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Megan. I do want to take a quick second before we move on to our next panelist and just remind our audience that the Q&A feature is available for questions. Don't be shy if something's coming in mind. Feel free to type that in there, and our panelists will get to it as soon as possible. Next up, we have Wofford College, and I will turn it over to our presenter.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Dalton Sullivan. I'm an admission counselor for students at Wofford College, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started on a little overview of what we're about. Let me see. It's not what I meant to do. Well, I'm messing up all over here. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Again, my name is Dalton Sullivan. I'm an admission counselor for Wofford College. As you can see, we have a smaller campus population. We have just over 1,700 students on campus, and with us being able to have that smaller class size, we're also able to afford a smaller average class size numbers. The average class size at Wofford is 18 students per class, and we actually cap it at 25 students. So we love being able to maintain That smaller classroom environment that allows our students to be engaged with other classmates, as well as having great access to the professors. It's really a great aspect that we're able to offer for our students. The faculty and staff, they want to see you do well in and outside the classroom. So it would be no surprise if you were to get an email or a call or something like that from a professor, like need some tissue or some Tylenol if you just happen to miss class on a Tuesday morning. That level of care is definitely what stands out for a lot of our students at Wofford College. And if you want to look for a family-like atmosphere, we can definitely provide that for you. Also coming along with the academic offerings we had, you can see on the screen some of our top majors consist of biology, psychology, accounting, finance, and there's several other options available to our students. There are a total of 67 majors and programs that are open to our students. Our most popular, I mentioned a moment ago, is is biology, and often students will pair that with the pre-med concentration in hopes of going to medical school. And that is because 80% of our students who do apply to medical school are accepted into their first choice program. So your success is definitely on our minds, and we're going to prepare you to get where you want to go if that's something you really take interest in. Now, along with the academic setup, we work on what's called a 4-1-4 academic calendar year, meaning we have 4 traditional months of education in the fall, 4 months of education in the spring, and in between that, for the month of January, we have something that's called interim. Interim is an opportunity to take a non-traditional class that is not necessarily associated with your major. There's 4 different ways to go about that. You have your on-campus courses, your internship opportunities, travel abroad opportunities, and independent studies as well. On-campus opportunities can look very wild. For example, when I was a student, I got to learn about Latin dance. I got to pretend to be a professional wrestler. There's a lot of things we get involved with, while also still being able to incorporate the liberal arts education we provide for our students. If you want to get involved in an internship, is a great way for you to get a better understanding or a better perspective of what it's like to work in a particular lifestyle. I mentioned a moment ago, students take interest in pre-med, also pre-law is very popular. Students who want to get a better idea of what it's like to work in the legal field. There are several law firms in Spartanburg who are always willing to work with our students to give them a better idea of what that world looks like. You can also travel abroad for interim. Students have traveled to over 70 countries on all 7 continents, and that is including Antarctica of all places. It's a great way for our students to explore the world and have a transformative experience in developing a more global perspective. For these interim opportunities traveling abroad, if you want to go to Italy and learn how to make pasta, that is an option. If you want to go to Thailand and learn about the geology and wildlife in that region, that is also an option. Or if you want to go to Costa Rica and learn about the biodiversity in that region through research, that's also an option. So again, these are great ways for us to really incorporate that liberal arts experience for our students. And I'm hopeful that is something you take interest in. Also, you can develop your own independent study, which is essentially you creating your own interim project. You're going to have a lot of flexibility with this, simply with the advising of a faculty member from Wofford College. Now, you can go all over the place in terms of creativity. An example I love to share is there was a young lady who was a psychology major and also an avid fan of the TV show Friends. So what she did was she paired her knowledge from psychology and her passion for the TV show. And she psychoanalyzed each of the characters throughout the series, and she did a presentation on their personalities. So what I like to tell our students is if you want to watch TV for academic credit, you should definitely keep us on your radar. Also, you can see on the bottom portion of the slide, we are a Division I athletic school. That's something we definitely take pride in. We're actually the 3rd smallest Division I school in the country. We love being able to offer those rigorous academics along with that competitive athletic atmosphere. It's a great component that we're able to offer here at Wofford College, and I'm hoping that's something you take interest in as well. Please keep in mind we're also a Common App exclusive school, and our applications open up on August 1st of this year. And I'm hoping that I have the opportunity to evaluate your application and see what you're all about at some point. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. You can see my contact information on the bottom left corner, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Dalton. And again, folks, I misspelled that. I misspoke at the beginning whenever I introduced it, but that is Wofford College. Next up, we have UNC Charlotte.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Tollison, and I'm an admissions counselor here at UNC Charlotte. I'm going to do my best to give you all the information within 6 minutes. So if you'll just bear with me, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we will get started. All right, so UNC Charlotte, we are one of 16 schools within the UNC system. Our designation is that we are North Carolina's urban research university. So if you're not familiar with the Charlotte area, then we are about 10 miles north of uptown Charlotte. So we're still located in Charlotte, but we do have our own community here in the residential, or we do have our own community here in the university area. We're a research university, so we are making sure that students have that hands-on experience with research opportunities as early as your freshman year. We're also the state's fastest growing university. So in the last 7 years, we have built 13 new buildings. We have just recently opened up a Marriott Hotel and Convention Center on our campus, and we are finishing up a $90 million science building. So a lot of growth on our campus, and I like to tell students that UNCC should actually stand for under construction constantly, because there's definitely something always happening on our campus construction-wise. This year, we have hit record-breaking numbers. We're really proud to be the second largest school within the UNC system. We have a total enrollment of 30,146 students, and we do have a graduate population of just under 6,000, but the main focus of that total enrollment is going to be our undergraduate population. So we do have a little over 24,000 students, but don't let those numbers intimidate you, because we do like to keep a small classroom size. So on average, your class is going to have about 35 students, and we do have a student to faculty ratio of 19:1. We also have a ton of different majors for students, so there's absolutely something for everyone. While 6 minutes does not give me enough time to list all of our 171 majors, I definitely want to go through just some of the different academic colleges that we have. So we have our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, College of Arts and Architecture, Belk College of Business, Cato College of Education, College of Computing and Informatics, College of Health and Human Services, Lee College of Engineering, and last but not least, while it's not an academic college, we do offer a university college. So this is home for our undecided or undeclared students. No matter what your major is here at UNC Charlotte, you will absolutely have an academic advisor who will be assisting you along your time here, making sure that you are picking the right courses and that you are doing everything to make sure that you're graduating and gaining that experience. Some of our popular majors are definitely business, psychology, nursing, communication, and engineering. So kind of want to talk about what our admitted freshman profile looks like. So by no means are these requirements, but if you fall within these ranges, you're definitely competitive for admission to UNC Charlotte. So we're looking at a weighted GPA of a 3.7 to a 4.3 and an unweighted GPA of a 3.3 to a 3.8. This year, we're not sure if we're going to require the SAT scores. It is something that has to be decided at the UNC system level, but just kind of keep an eye on our website. We do look in between SAT scores of an 1110 to a 1290. ACT scores are 22 to a 28. We super score the SATs and the ACTs. Keep in mind that we are going to super score them, so send us all of your scores if you have the ability to take them. We don't have a preference of which one that you take as well. The best way that you can stay in contact with us is going to be that Future 49er portal. So you can go to future49ers.uncc.edu. This is a way that you can eventually apply to us. You can stay up to date with everything that's happening. We definitely keep you in contact and send you a lot of emails of all the things that's happening on our campus. Our plans for the fall semester are to be 100% in person. So we are really excited for that. We have a lot of in-person tours that are available. So definitely join that Future 49er portal. Let us know if you do have any questions. I will be here for the remainder of the time. But thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jen. Next up, we have Sewanee, the University of the South.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Heitzenrader. I'm one of the admission counselors here at Swanee, and I'm going to share a quick video with you, and then if time allows at the end, can answer some questions.
Enter through our gates on the Cumberland Plateau and take a deep breath. Something about the air is different here. a rare combination of history, tradition, beauty, and a mission to lead. You have entered the domain of a truly uncommon educational experience. The view from here on the mountain is expansive, inspiring, and individually focused on defining your path. You will find uncommon viewpoints that open doors to opportunity through global and personal connections. Over 160 full-time professors lead small classes where all opinions are equally challenged and your contribution is counted on. The natural world is in pristine abundance here. Our 13,000-acre campus is built on ancient land that will connect you to our planet like no other place. Our campus is a reflection of who we are at Swanee. A diverse community that is symbiotic, confident, surprising, and energized. Here, you choose your challenges inside and outside the classroom. As a student or scholar athlete, you will find uncommon opportunities to prove you have no limits. Ours is an ecosystem of high expectations, where great ideas gain altitude, listening inspires action, tough questions are valued, and hands-on discovery will expand your world. Here, you have the unique opportunity to redefine what success means to you.
So being from London, I'm from the city in the UK, I really wanted a change in scenery. And although I wanted to go to Oxford University initially, I figured that my interest in things like Spanish and music wasn't going to be relayed in the academics in Oxford, and I understood that liberal arts education was a way for me to express that. I'm currently a math major with a double minor in Spanish and economics. I'm what you would say is a very driven sophomore. I know what I want in the future. I know what I want to do in the future, and that would be essentially to work in investment banking. This is the place for me, and I can say it's been the best decision I've made so far.
Some people ask, how did an English major from Swanee go into the big bad world of payments in New York City? And I guess I would suggest that if you look at what I do on a day-to-day basis, most of what I do is communicating with others. I write, I speak in public, I make sure that our teams are on the same page, I work across the aisle, I work with partners, and communicating is the most important thing that I do. So I guess I would argue that that the English major was kind of a perfect setup for how I have gotten ready to do this job.
The people I graduated with and some of my friends that graduated before me, we've really all ended up in incredibly different places. There are people that are working as lobbyists in DC and people that are on staff with politicians. There are people here in New York who have gone and worked directly in finance in a place that typically you wouldn't expect to find a liberal arts graduate. There's a graduate who's running learning and development at Facebook who I've met recently. I'm never shocked when I hear that a Swanee alumni is doing something or I see that connection, because it is just so clear that you can end up anywhere with this degree.
Swanee grads, when they come in here, they're prepared for the relationship side of this business. They are always fearless. They know how to communicate really well. They're really comfortable in their own skin. And they come in and they have that sort of quiet confidence. For me, all the tools that Swanee taught me, I use every day.
The student-faculty relationship has always been really important at Swanee and continues to be something that we really consider our greatest value. Students can conduct research with faculty the entire time they're here, but also we work with students to serve their community, to go on outreach trips. We really try to develop the whole person and allow students opportunities to apply what they learn in the classroom to solving real-world problems.
So in my junior year, I went through the application process for an internship at Goldman Sachs and got an internship offer in the fall and had a really incredible time in the summer of 2019 working in Atlanta doing wealth management. It was a lot of hard work, but it ended up working out really well. I received a full-time offer right before senior year started and signed a 2-year contract. At this point, all I have to do is graduate and I have a job.
At Sewanee, we pledge you will be prepared for top jobs and graduate programs through internships and research fellowships. You will make global connections with a semester study abroad at no additional cost. We pledge you will graduate in 4 years or continue your education for up to 1 additional year, tuition free. This commitment to your success is the Sewanee Pledge. It is our promise we make to every student family that becomes part of Sewanee. We know at Sewanee, the uncommon air we share has the power to change everything.
Thanks, everybody. You can go to sewanee.edu to get contact information or any other details.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. Last up, we have Christopher, Newport University.
All right, well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Sasha Kierick, and I'm one of the assistant directors here at CNU, and I'm excited to share some information with you tonight. So jumping right in, Christopher Newport University is one of the public liberal arts and sciences universities located in Newport News, Virginia, so right in between Williamsburg and Virginia Beach and the wonderful southern coastal region of the state. We have in total about 5,000 students on our beautiful residential campus, and that includes our graduate population, which is only about 200 students. So very much focused on the undergraduate experience here at CNU. Looking at academics, we offer about 90 areas of study, everything from business and engineering to the performing arts and philosophy. Now, one of the things that's most important about a CNU education is making sure that you're able you have time to explore all of the programs that we offer. And so our students don't officially declare a major until second semester sophomore year. But whether you know what you want from day one or you're still exploring and deciding, every student will have an academic advisor who is there, one, to really help them make that transition into the collegiate academic environment, but also just to help them figure out what combination of majors and minors is the best fit for you. Once you officially declare a major in your sophomore year, you're then assigned an advisor within that program. So someone who can really help you dig even deeper into that field and also making sure you're taking advantage of outside opportunities to give you the best education that we can. Now, part of this experience as well is the fact that we want you to have a liberal arts education. And basically what that means is that when you graduate, we want to make sure that you're not only an expert in your chosen major, but that you're able to speak knowledgeably about a wide range of topics. And you leave us with a broad set of skills that you understand how to apply in your chosen field. So basically, we want to make sure that you can communicate effectively, that you can solve problems and interpret information. We want you to feel confident that you'll be able to excel in the field that you've chosen, but also that you can take on anything that the world throws at you. As we know, unexpected challenges always come up. So we have a liberal learning core for you to follow during your time with us. That does not mean there are specific classes that you have to take, but instead broader requirements where you get to pick the classes that fulfill those in order to help you build those skills. In the classrooms themselves, you'll be working with gifted faculty members every day in a small classroom environment. 60% of our classes have 19 or fewer students in them. And on the flip side of that, only 3% have more than 50, with our largest classroom having 100 seats in it. You can expect at least half of your freshman classes to be capped at that 20 amount, and very rare to have classes over about 30 or 40 students. Now, not only do we want to make sure that you have an incredible experience academically with us, but we also want to make sure that our students are able to find communities on campus where they can connect with others, where they can feel valued, and where they can really grow as a person. And for a lot of students, that first community they find is in the residence halls. So we have a 3-year residency requirement, meaning you'll be living on campus through your junior year. Our freshmen and sophomores live in suite style housing, so the 2 bedrooms connected by a bathroom, and upperclassmen are typically in apartment style housing that include a private bedroom and a private bedroom and a private bathroom. But as nice as all of these facilities are, we don't want you spending all of your spare time in them. We do, of course, want you having fun in your spare time and getting involved in things that you're excited about. We have over 200 clubs and organizations. That's a huge amount for a smaller school. So everything from very competitive Division III athletics to club sports, musical groups, academic clubs, religious organizations, service groups, and everything in between. Tons of ways for you to find your community and tons of ways to help you grow as a person. We also want to make sure that there are ways that you can add to your education outside of the classroom. And again, because we have so few graduate students on our campus, starting your freshman year, you'll have the opportunity to get involved in things like undergraduate research, internships, service learning, or study abroad. All of those areas have dedicated staff to help each student find the best ways to add to their education and really make sure you're preparing for what you'll be doing after college. Finally, the most important thing to know about CNU is that we really value developing leadership skills and giving back to our community. Our motto at CNU is lead a life of significance, meaning we want you to see your education as a tool that will allow you to give back to your community and make a positive impact in some way. While service isn't a requirement, almost every academic program and every organization has a way that you can either be volunteering locally in our community or working part of a national movement through a local or national philanthropy. So tons of opportunities to get involved in the community here. Lastly, just a little bit of information about our application process, although keep in mind you can find all of the details for this on our website, of course. First and foremost, we have a holistic admission process, which means there are no minimums, there are no cutoffs, there is no magic combination of grades, test scores, AP classes, volunteer hours that gets you an automatic yes. We'll look through all the information you provide to try and figure out if we think you can be successful on our campus. We are going to start with your academic records first, but we're not just looking at the GPA. We want to see the grades that you've been earning and the types of classes you've been taking. We don't expect that you've been perfect, and we don't expect that everything is at the highest level for every year. What we do want to see, though, is growth, that you've challenged yourself over your 4 years and found ways to enjoy your education. We've been a test optional institution for over 10 years, so that is nothing new. So if you have test scores, go ahead and submit them. If not, that's perfectly fine as well. The last thing to know about the application process is we encourage every student to have an admission interview with us. Interviews start in June every year, so rising seniors can interview before they've even started the application process, and they are required for a scholarship. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in tonight. I've got my contact information on our social media up there. If you're excited about what you've heard, I invite you to come and visit our campus as we are open for in-person tours. Thank you so much, and I look forward to your questions.
Thanks so much, Sasha. Next up, folks, we're going to transition over into our Q&A session. So at this point, I'd love to invite back our panelists while I get myself set up. Great. So we're going to start off with Carolina's College of Health and Science. And the question at hand is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
I think that is a really great question, especially coming out of the year that we've had. I think the college admissions process, there are a lot of things that still look the same, but there's a lot of things that are different. And I would say, especially in this time, to really try not to lean into a lot of the anxiety or the worry that you may have about how the pandemic and COVID restrictions have impacted your ability to pursue your education. I think that's something that at the admissions level, we are all looking at. And I would say in part with that, to make sure that you're utilizing all of the resources. You know, I always tell students that are interested in Carolina's College, you don't have to matriculate or enroll at Carolina's College to speak with me. If we speak and you find out through that conversation that there's somewhere better, there's a better fit, that's what we want for you. And I think I can say that for all of our counselors that are on our call tonight and in our field doing the work that we do. We know this has been a stressful year and we want to be a resource. So make sure that you're reaching out to not only us, but those resources you have at the high school level as well.
Awesome. Thank you. All great points, Robert. Thank you so much. Next up is Gaston College.
Thank you. That is a really great question. I would probably say one thing that I do somewhat preach to the students that I talk to who are still in that decision mode and trying to figure out their next steps after high school, really just simply is research. There is so many things in your backyard and your community that you don't even know you could use as resources. People who might be already working within a particular career field that you're interested in that you could ask questions to about how they got there and what they did. especially when it comes to checking out a specific college, I encourage you, for those who are able to in the near future, if not already, check out a campus tour if it's available to you. At least do something virtually, or maybe try to connect virtually with someone from that college if that's possible. But if something in person is available, try to see if you can check out the college in person, because sometimes just walking on that campus can give you an instant feeling of, yes, I think I could call this home. I think this is a good fit for me. Or, you know what, I think I might need to explore other options. So that would probably be my biggest piece of advice.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Next up, we have Wofford College.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly endorse what Megan said. I think it's important when you're going through the college search process that you look for a place that you feel you can call home, and also think about where you feel like you're gonna grow the most. I think it's important to identify where you think you're gonna find the best version of yourself, and that's something that I did in my college search, and I would encourage you to y'all do the same thing. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Great. Thank you, Dalton. Next up, we have UNC Charlotte.
So my 2 pieces of advice for someone going through the college search process, number 1 would definitely be to apply early. That way that you can just kind of get everything out of the way, have all of your ducks in a row, and it's just one less thing to worry about. The second piece of advice would be to ask about scholarships. Every school is going to be different no matter what the scholarship process is. Here at UNC Charlotte, you are not automatically assumed for scholarships. It is a separate process. So while all schools definitely are going to offer you scholarships, asking about that just so that you can find out what the entire process is will be helpful towards you.
Great. Thank you, Jen. Next up is Sewanee, the University of the South.
Thanks. Yeah, we've had a lot of really good answers so far, and I would just reiterate a couple of those. One is definitely don't get behind and know your deadlines and get application materials in early. And that means starting early and holding yourself accountable and getting those things submitted on time. And the other would be just to reiterate that campus visits are really important. A lot of schools are available for campus visitors right now, or maybe they will be in the summer, and definitely use the summer months to get out there and get on campus and get a feel for a lot of different schools.
Thank you, Jeff. And then the last school to answer this question is going to be Christopher Newport University.
Great, thank you. Yeah, always hard to go last in one of these. So much great advice already given. My answer is going to sound a little bit of corny to start with, so bear with me. As you start to go through this process, especially if you're sophomores and juniors, you need to do a little bit of self-reflection as you're starting in this process. And what I mean by that is you are going to be bombarded from so many people about how you should go about this process, where you should go to school, what you should be looking for. But this is a very personal process. That is the beauty of having so many thousands of institutions to choose from. And so what you be looking for, what's going to make you feel confident and comfortable may be very different from your friends, your classmates, your parents, and that's okay. But you need to spend some time really thinking about what it is you're hoping to get out of college, why you want to go and have these experiences, and then what that translates to in a university so that you can find a place to do that. And it's okay not to have the answers to all of these questions as well. Most students don't, but you need to start thinking about them so you can really find what you're looking for best.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Sasha. And thank you to all our panelists for all the great advice throughout this this journey. I know that it is for sure and can't be understated that it is a process. So all this is going to go a long way. The next question is really fun. It's to get another feel of what campus is like. So I'll welcome back the Carolinas College of Health and Science and ask, what is your favorite event or tradition that happens on campus?
Well, I have to admittedly say that I joined Carolinas College just last August, so kind of in the midst of COVID. So that obviously limited a lot of things, but one thing that I hear over and over again from students and even staff is the graduation ceremonies that we host for our students. You know, a lot of our students enter our programs for a really personal reason. You know, health sciences is a field that gives you a lot of access to help people but it's a really, it's a rigorous field. And I think a lot of people go into it, for a specific reason that they can relate to. And so it's a really meaningful thing when they're able to walk across the stage and receive their pin or their credentials. But this year that looked a little bit different, and we learned that we have the perfect parking lot for a drive-through graduation, and our students, still brought that same pomp and circumstance to this event and decorating their cars, and some showed up in limousines, and it was still a really great way for all of our staff. We lined the car line there, and we're able to kind of greet and cheer for students as they came by. So I think that's been one of my favorite events personally, because we were still able to celebrate our students and all of their hard work.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Robert. Next up is Gaston College.
Thank you. This is a fun question. I would probably say there are actually a lot of really fun things that, of course, prior to COVID coming and turning everything a little more virtually, whenever we were able to gather in person, there was a lot of fun things we were able to do, Halloween costume contests and spring flings and fall get-togethers with the students. We try to have something at least once a month, if not more, where we get to gather together just to have fun and enjoy. I would probably say my favorite out of those would be Club Day, just because everyone gets to get together. All the different clubs are not only represented, so you could see what kind of club organization you could join that is outside of just your academics here, so you could get involved and meet a few more people in a fun, cool way. But also the clubs decide to dress up and have a theme and kind of do their own little battle in between each other for fun. And it's just a really cool way to get out there, learn a little bit more about Gaston College and how you can get involved.
Absolutely. Thank you, Megan. Next up is going to be Wofford College.
Yeah, for me, my favorite tradition at Wofford College was every year, well, every semester on finals week, there is one night where the campus puts together at midnight specifically a giant breakfast buffet. So you get all the French toast sticks and all the muffins. I love bacon, so trust me, I'm all over that. So you got that, and then there's also a DJ there too. So it is a wild combination of a lot of different elements. But I definitely think that is one of my favorite traditions at Wofford, and also our Black and Gold Ball, where it's a campus-wide semi-formal event where you get to get dressed up with all your friends and everything, and just have a good time, dance to live music and everything. So those are my two favorite traditions on campus.
Awesome. Thank you, Dalton. Next up, we have UNC Charlotte.
Thank you. So a really cool tradition, also an event that we have on campus, is we have our International Festival. It is about, let's see, it's been around since 1975. Typically over 15 to 20,000 people come, and over 50 nations are represented. So these are not just students, these are people from all over the Charlotte area. Charlotte's the 15th largest city in the nation. So there are so many different cultures that are represented. There's a lot of different food, a lot of different things that students and really just kind of many guests that we have that come on campus that can just explore and see what it's like to be in a different country, in a different nation, while still being in Charlotte. So it's a really cool time that we have, and we have this event every year. So we are excited to have it come back very soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Next up is Sewanee, the University of the South.
Thanks. Yeah, one of my favorite traditions is an event that we call PRE. It's the Pre-Orientation Outing Program. Swanee is on a 13,000 acre campus, most of which is just forest and woods and trails and lots of opportunities for outing program activities. So PRE is an event that happens 3 days before our orientation begins. And about 200 students, 200 out of maybe a class of 450 will show up early just to get out and hike and mountain bike and cave and rappel and camp out overnight and really get to know the domain, the land that what we call 13,000 acres before they start orientation and before they start class. So that's a really cool tradition here, and students who do it really love it.
Thanks, Jeff. And then we're going to end it off with Christopher, Newport University.
Thanks so much. So my favorite tradition is a two-part tradition. The first part happens during the first 2 weeks of your freshman year. As part of our orientation program, our freshmen move in a week before classes. And during either that first or second week, the president of the university, who lives only a few blocks from campus, invites all of the freshmen to his house for a dessert reception. It's usually a beautiful evening. All of the department chairs and faculty come. His house is on the river, so you have basically a nice little dessert party out on the river of his house. The peanut butter pie is amazing, but it's a great way to just come and start to meet some people and get familiar with some faces. And then the second part is that in the week prior to graduation each year during senior week, the president invites all the seniors back over to his house for a champagne toast before they graduate. So you get to start your 4-year experience with him and cap it off at the end as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Sasha. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of our session. And I do want to say thank you so much to our panelists for engaging in the discussion, but also sharing fantastic things that their institutions had to offer. Also, our audience for sticking around and just thinking about what is going to happen in the future. With those final remarks, once you close this window, there's going to be a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide for us. I believe there's one more session to be offered, so be sure to sign up for another if you'd like. And then last but not least, this recording will be available in about a week at triscan.com/Carolinas. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great day, evening, morning, wherever you join us from. Bye-bye.